How I got sponsored. When I was growing up, there was like 4 or 5 of my friends in the neighborhood that were sponsored. So it was like Just In Case, Van Wastel, Spanky, and then 2 other guys. We're all sponsored when I was growing up skating. Basically, I took all their sponsors, got them to give me the address to the company. And this was way before social media. This was like VHS times. So I got the addresses of all their sponsors, made a sponsor me tape, and just sent them out. And I knew the team managers' names because they were sponsored by them. So I sent all these tapes out. I must have sent like 15 out. I sent it to, everyone. Justin was sponsored by DC and 16 skateboards. Sent them to them. Spanky was sponsored by 16 and maybe Ezekiel at the time. These are all companies that aren't even here anymore. And then Van was sponsored by Vans, and who else was he sponsored by at that time? Maybe Consolidated. And at that point, they put the address of the company at the bottom of the page in the print ad, right? So then I looked for any sponsor that had the address. I didn't even care what it was, just so I could send these things out. So I probably sent about 20 videos out, VHS videos, and then I didn't get one call back from anyone. So I was like, shoot, I guess I have to film a whole new video. So filmed a whole new sponsor me tape. And remember the Silmar rails? I backlipped it, right? This is how long ago I was. I did a backlip on it. At that time, people didn't really backlip big rails, or kids, right? So I did a backlip on that. There was a Calabasas 11 stair square rail. I 5-0'd it, lip slid it. It was like stuff like that, just like my ledge game wasn't very strong. I did like a nollie front board down a 6 stair rail and actually sent it out to the same exact 20-something sponsors or companies, and I got 2 calls back. It was from Justin Williams at Venture and RP Best at Duff's Shoes were the first 2 calls back. And then the next week I got a call back from Ed Dominic at Maple. So those were the first 3 calls I got. And I remember like for that whole, like I sent the tapes out and then I'd come home like asking my parents, did anybody call? Because this is when they had to call the house line, right? Yeah. So the one day that somebody called, I can't remember who it was, but my dad answered. And the guy's like, hey, is Mike there? And my dad's like, yeah, who's this? And they said who it was. And my dad's like, oh man, there's been a lot of you guys calling lately. There weren't. I didn't even know he was doing this. And they were like, oh really? And he's like, yeah, it's been about a couple calls every day. It's kind of getting overwhelming how many people are trying to sponsor him, right? And then I come home and he tells me that story. I was so mad. I was like, Dad, you better not have blown it for me. But I think it ended up working out. So my first sponsors really were Maple, Skateboards, Duff Shoes, and Venture.